Hello everyone and welcome back to Literacy Volunteers of Laredo's Holiday Camp 2020. We want to thank the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and Laredo College Visual and Performing Arts Department for allowing us to bring you these videos every week. This week I want to show you guys how to make a Christmas ornament just using Sharpie markers, plastic cups, some glue, a little bit of tinsel, and some gemstones. Okay, so with that said, let's get started. Okay, now you can choose whatever kind of plastic cups you would like as long as they're clear. Okay, so they have cups that are pretty common that look like this. I'm sure you guys have seen these before, right? Simple little party cups. Okay, you want to have at least two, because what you're going to do is you're going to have the base of it that's going to be colored, and you're going to have the top of it, which is going to have gemstones on it. And so then we're going to glue it together like that. And so, like I said, you need to have two that are going to be about the same size. Okay, we call this the lip of the cup. And so the lips need to be able to match up. All right, so it doesn't matter whatever size or shape as long as those do match up. And so these are like little dessert bowls I found. You could do these as well. See, I kind of like this one because this one's got like a little bit more of a lip to it. So you can actually glue better with it. But I'm going to do though is use these little dessert cups I found. And I just found them at the dollar store. I think they come in like a package of 8. They don't cost a lot of money. But like I said, you can use any plastic cups like what you may have around your house too. Okay, just make sure you check to make sure that you're not going to actually use something that your family wouldn't approve. Okay, because you're going to color on this with a Sharpie marker. Okay, and so if you look, this is what we're going to go for. Okay, this is a beautiful blue, and I absolutely love cobalt blue glass. I'm a big fan of glass blowing, and up in Washington State, we actually have a very well-known glass blowing school. It's called the Pilchuck Glass Blowing School. And one of the artists, one of the co-founders, is a gentleman named Dale Chihuly. And Dale Chihuly makes these fabulous, big, giant blown glass chandeliers and sculptures that have been shown all around the world. We actually have a permanent collection in San Antonio at our museum. And so if you ever get a chance to go see some blown glass by Dale Chihuly, you really should check it out. It's amazing. There are some fabulous sea forms, is what he calls them, where they actually look like big seashells and clams, and they have a variety of different colors, including, you know, some of the colors that look like this beautiful blue right here. Like I said, this is probably one of my favorite colors as far as glass is concerned. So I like to try to mimic it as much as possible, because I can't just go to get some glass blown pieces like I want, so I'll just make them, bring them home to myself. Okay, so I'm going to take my Sharpie marker. Okay, and if it's not, it doesn't have to be the Sharpie brand. It could be something as long as it's a permanent marker. Again, because you don't want this to rub off. So the washable markers don't work very well. So, you know, any color of a permanent ink, you can get the same result. Okay, so I'm going to take it and I'm going to color all on the inside. So I just set it down and I color on the inside of it. Because if I color on the inside, I know that it's not going to get scratched off by accident, you know, after I'm finished displaying it. Okay, so, and it doesn't take very long. And you can see I've turned my Sharpie to the side, and I'm just going back and forth, and it coats it really well. Now, I have to give it just a few moments to dry, you know, because it is ink, and that ink can still smudge a little bit if you try to touch it while it's still wet. So, you know, once you get it on there though, it stays pretty good. Okay, so I would finish coloring that, and then we get this result right here. Okay, and so what I mean by it not smudging is like I could take my finger and do this, and you can see I don't have anything on it, right? No, I don't have anything. I had to check too. Okay, so it sticks on there pretty good. And the reason why is because the inside of the cup actually has a little tiny bit of texture to it. And so that ink gets absorbed into that little bit of texture in there. On the outside, it's a little bit more slick, and so it doesn't always stick very well on the outside because it doesn't have very much of what we call a tooth. Okay, so now that I have this base part finished, I then want to take the top part, and with my gemstones or glitter or anything that I feel would look really pretty on this, beads, anything like that, I then can decorate it. And so I just like to make it look kind of random, all my little dots of color. And this is kind of like where your creativity is really going to take over, because some people like to create patterns and some people want it all just one particular color, and if you have glitter, then obviously you're going to be able to get a lot of the same color pretty quick than what I'm doing here, right? But I'm just grabbing a few red ones. Now I'm going to grab some blue ones. Like I said, it doesn't matter to me personally, all of the color shifts that are on it, but I do like to kind of have them spaced out a little bit better than what I did right there. Okay, and so I would go all the way around and just go ahead and bling that up with my little gemstones or with my glitter. Some people don't like working with glitter because, it gets kind of all over the place. But I love working with glitter, but not in my office. I'm not going to have it out here in my office because, again, it has a tendency to get everywhere. And I'm not the neatest, cleanest person when it comes to doing artwork. I'm kind of all over the place. And then I find myself having to clean up quite a bit. So me and glitter, we're kind of frenemies, I guess you could say, friends and enemies. A little bit of love and dislike for sure, but I love the results of glitter. So again, if you have glitter, that's perfect. If you don't worry. Okay, so little bling going on there is what you can see. Okay, and so what we're going to be doing is taking those and gluing them together like that, right? So you end up having like a really cool little ornament, except I have this tinsel over here, and I like to also give a little bit more visual interest in my ornament. So I'll just take a little bit, a section of it. Now, if you don't have, something like this, that's okay. Don't worry. This is really whatever you want to put in there. You could put cotton in there, or you could put a piece of fabric in there. You could put a photograph in there. I even have like some of the pipe cleaners. I just like to give it some visual interest. Okay, and I kind of packed that down a little bit too much, so I think I'm going to add just a little bit more. Just a little bit more visual interest like that. Okay, and I am going to pack it down just a little bit so whenever I glue it, all of the little tinsel part isn't sticking out too much. Then I'll shake it later. But, so let's go ahead and just kind of shove that one in that side, and then I think I'll go ahead and put it in the other side. So I've already got this one already blinged out, and so I'll just go ahead and put it in this side too. And then I am going to run glue all around it. Now, some people are really good at using the regular liquid glue, but I'm kind of messy with it. And so I find myself oftentimes using something like hot glue in particular, but glue sticks really work well for me. Even doing something like this. So, but I'm very generous with it. So I don't know if you can see it because the purple rim and it's so thin, but I really do just kind of lay that in there pretty thick. And then I am going to stick those together. And if there's some of it that's sticking out, some of my tinsel that's sticking out, that's okay because I can go and trim it later. It's not that big a deal. Okay. So now I have my ornament. So I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can see it. You can see my ornament. And I can make that any color I want to on the bottom. Remember, you know, it's my choice with my Sharpie. And that's just fine. And then I want to glue something to help hang it on the tree. And because I happen to have these, but you could use a string or you could actually use some of the tinsel also. Anyway, let's go ahead and use the tinsel. We can just use a little bit more of this and create like a little loop that we can glue to the top. And I have some gemstones on the top, but that's okay. I can still come in and put this on here as well. Give it a little bit more interest there too. And voila. Of course, it's going to have to set a little while because I used the liquid glue, but let's see if I can shape it a little bit better so y'all can see it. And so there is our plastic cup ornament. Okay, so thank you guys for joining me this week. And we will have time, I believe, for one more craft before our holiday camp is over. So thanks, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.